All right, let's talk about health and fitness. For most of us, those words just bring up this tangled mess, right? Complicated diets, super extreme workout plans, and advice that honestly seems to change every single week. But what if we've just been massively overcomplicating the whole thing? What if the real path to getting healthy is, well, simpler? Today, we're going to strip it all back to a really powerful, sustainable framework that I promise anyone can use.
So let's just start right here. What if fitness is actually way simpler than you think? Now, really think about that for a second. What if it's not about chasing some impossible ideal you see plastered all over social media? What if it's just about building a solid foundation for a healthier life, starting exactly where you are right now?
Okay, so let's just redefine what we're even talking about here. This isn't fitness in the sense of some 30-day challenge that you absolutely dread. No, this is true fitness. And what that really means is a sustainable lifestyle, one that's built on consistent, small habits that take care of your physical, mental, and nutritional well-being. The key word here is sustainable. We're building a system for the long haul, not just chasing a quick fix. And that huge shift in mindset brings us right to our first big idea. We've got to rethink what real fitness actually is. Here is the big mental shift we all need to make. Forget those fleeting diets that last, what, a week? And those brutal workouts that just leave you too sore to even move. That's a house of cards ready to collapse. What we're really talking about is building a resilient system for your life. Think of it like a deep-rooted tree. It's a set of habits that supports you day in and day out, through the good days and, more importantly, the bad ones. Okay, so if we're building this amazing system, where do we start? Well, you start with the foundation, right? The absolute bedrock. And that brings us to our first pillar, nutrition, or as I like to call it, fueling your body. Honestly, the easiest way to wrap your head around this is to think of your body like a high-performance engine. You wouldn't pour sludge into a Ferrari and expect it to win a race, would you? Of course not. Well, your body is the most incredible, complex machine on the entire planet, and the quality of the fuel you put into it directly determines its performance. We're talking your energy, your mood, literally everything.
And here's the best part. Good fuel isn't complicated. It's not rocket science. We're talking about four basic things. First, lean proteins. Chicken, fish, lentils. They repair muscle and keep you feeling full. Then you've got complex carbs from veggies and whole grains. They give you that slow release, sustained energy. Third, healthy fats from things like avocados and nuts, absolutely crucial for your brain to function properly. And finally, of course, water. Just plain old water. Consistent hydration is like the oil that keeps the whole engine running without a hitch.
Every meal is basically a choice, a fork in the road. On one path, you've got these vibrant, nutrient-dense foods. They give you that sustained energy, they help your body rebuild itself. But on the other path, empty calories. The processed junk and sugar that cause those awful energy crashes we all hate, and they offer literally zero nutritional value. When you really look at it like that, the choice becomes pretty clear, doesn't it? All right, so we've got our premium fuel sorted. Now it's time to actually start the engine and get it running. And that brings us right to our second pillar, movement. And the key word here is making it a routine. Look, the goal here is not to become a professional athlete overnight. It's way simpler than that. The goal is to make movement a non-negotiable part of your day, just like brushing your teeth. And another crucial piece of this puzzle is variety. Your body gets bored. It doesn't want to do the same exact thing over and over again. It really thrives on a mix of different challenges. And that variety really breaks down into three key things. First up, you've got cardio. Running, cycling, anything that gets that heart pumping. The goal, the sweet spot, is about 150 minutes of moderate activity a week. Second, you need strength training at least twice a week. This is so important for building muscle and keeping your bones strong. And third, we can't forget flexibility. Think stretching or yoga. This is all about mobility, just keeping your body moving freely without all those aches and pains. I want to pause on that number for a second. 150. 150 minutes of cardio a week. I know, that might sound like a huge, intimidating number. But hang on, let's break it down. That's just a little over 20 minutes a day. A brisk walk on your lunch break? That counts. A bike ride with your kids? That counts. Heck, even dancing around your living room while you cook dinner? It all counts. It is so much more doable than you think. And this right here is probably the single most important thing to remember for this entire pillar. It's consistency over intensity. I'll say it again. Consistency over intensity.
It is so much better to go for a 20-minute walk every single day than to absolutely destroy yourself in one crazy workout on Sunday and then do nothing for the next 6 days. Just start where you are with what you can do and build from there. It's all about progress, not perfection.
All right, now it's time for the pillar that almost everyone ignores. But honestly, it might just be the most powerful one of them all. Let's talk about pillar 3, the incredible power of recovery.
This is a total game changer for how most of us think about fitness. Get this, your gains, your progress, it's not actually built in the gym. It's built outside the gym when you rest. I want you to think of recovery as your body's essential 24/7 repair crew. They're the ones who come in after you've put in the work, after a workout, after a long day, and they rebuild everything, making it stronger than it was before. If you ignore them, you're not building yourself up. You're just breaking yourself down. And what's the number one tool for that amazing repair crew? It's not some fancy supplement or an expensive gadget. It's sleep, plain and simple. The target, the non-negotiable goal for all of us, should be between 7 and 9 hours a night. And listen, this isn't a luxury. It's a biological necessity if you want to make any real, lasting progress. So why is sleep so critical? Well, because it's not a passive state where you just shut off. It is an intensely active process. While you're sleeping, your body is literally repairing muscle tissue, fiber by fiber. Your brain is hard at work, kind of like a librarian, filing away important memories and clearing out all the metabolic junk that built up during the day. At the same time, crucial hormones that control everything from your hunger to your mood are being fine-tuned and balanced. When you skimp on sleep, you sabotage every single one of these vital processes.
But recovery isn't just about sleep. It's also about managing your stress. See, when you're chronically stressed out, your body is just flooded with a hormone called cortisol. And high cortisol it's just bad news. It leads directly to fatigue, brain fog, and it can even tell your body to store more fat, especially around your middle. But the good news is the antidote can be really simple. We're talking a few minutes of mindfulness, some deep breathing, or even just getting outside in nature for a bit. It can make a huge difference in bringing those levels back down. Okay, so we've covered our 3 pillars: fuel, movement, and recovery. Now it's time for the final piece of the puzzle. This is where the real magic happens. Let's talk about how this all works together as an integrated system. And listen, if you take one thing away from all of this, let it be this. These pillars, fuel, movement, and recovery, they do not work in isolation. This isn't just a checklist you tick off. When you put them together, they create this powerful, self-sustaining loop that can literally support your health for the rest of your life.
Just look at how this beautiful loop works. It all starts with quality recovery, right? So when you're well rested, you wake up with more energy. And what happens when you have more energy? Well, that increased energy makes you way more motivated to actually move your body. And then when you move and eat well, it reinforces your desire to live that healthy lifestyle, which in turn makes you want to prioritize your recovery even more. You see how that works? It becomes this incredible positive feedback loop where each healthy habit just makes the next one easier.
So, as we wrap this up, just remember, this is not about some massive, painful overhaul of your entire life starting tomorrow. It's about making one small, positive change. It's just about getting that loop started. So when you look at these 3 pillars, fuel, movement, and recovery, the only question left for you is this: which one will you strengthen first?